What is up? It's some dude named Devs, and I'm taking you guys behind the scenes on my fashion shoots. Check it out. Alright, so there's a few things I like to do in pre-production that will help my shoot day and my post-production run smooth. I look at the mood, the location, the audio, the lighting, the color, the music, and finally my shot list. Pretty much I like to understand all these things and talk it over with the client before shoot day. So I start off with the mood. I ask the client, alright, so what do you want? Do you want this to be a street style shoot, a high fashion shoot? Something like that. For this specific client, they wanted more high-end because that's the tier that she's in terms of marketing or in terms of her clientele. It's very, I asked her for a price range, so I think her pieces were around $50 to $80, and some of them range even higher, but not below that 50 mark, which now great, I have a better idea of this. And then I asked them, okay, what location do you have in mind? When scouting a location, I really key in on the lights, if it's outdoors or indoors. If it's outdoors, I go back to the mood. What are they trying to go for? Do they want the harsh shadows at high noon, or do they want that sunset look? In this case, for this client, we wanted a studio shoot. So when scouting for a location, you really want to make sure the location really emphasizes the brand's image, and it really goes hand in hand with the clothing that they're wearing. So now when looking at the location, you really want to figure out the lighting in there. Is it naturally lit? How big are the windows? Can we flag off the windows? And for this commercial, we actually shot this whole thing pretty much with natural light with some nan lights, my little tube lights, to really emphasize certain areas or eliminate shadows. Alright, so I set up the set here. Kind of made everything like in a small diagonal, like a V formation. So pretty much it has my center point right there. And then I added my nan lights in the back. So this will give it an extra light. So it's not too shadowy in the background. It really cleans it up a lot nicer. So that's with it on. This is with it off. So this is what that shot looks like. Thirdly, you want to look into audio. Do we need audio from the client? Some commercials, you have them speak into certain things. For this one particularly, we didn't use any audio. We kind of just focused really on sound design and the music. But always take that consideration, because when you're filming someone, you want to see, okay, am I laving them up? Am I doing a boom mic? How much reverb am I getting out of the room? Do I need to bring a sound blanket? So little things like that. I know that's a lot to think about right now, but maybe I'll do another video on sound. So next I go through color palettes. Color palettes are really key. You basically want to see the clothing that you're working with and figure out complementary colors that allows that clothing to pop. But keep in mind, it has to be within the main mood and theme of the whole video. So for example, if you're outside and you're shooting, a black shirt, you wouldn't want to put a black shirt in front of a black background unless that's the mood. I personally use a website called Peloton. It's a great website to really understand color palettes and get an overall color scheme for your film. For this one particularly, we went for a nude. It was more muted, more neutral, very higher end. And then after that, I go through music. Music is key. I personally use Artlist. I recommend it. Music on there is amazing. They have a ton of variety, and they also have sound effects, which I did a lot of sound design in this particular commercial. So again, this client really wanted a higher end feel to the commercial, like a Fendi, like a Gucci, like a Dior. So listening to that, I was like, okay, what if we went with a piano theme? So I sent her this song and she loved it. And then from there, now I listen to the song like a ton of times. I pretty much memorized the song and pretty much figure out, okay, where do I want certain scenes? Do I want to cut at this piano beat? Do I want to cut on this inflection? So for this specific song, I used the middle of the song. The intro was kind of bland for me, so I used the middle and then I cut in the end part. If you listen to it seamlessly like this, it doesn't sound that good because it doesn't match up properly. So I usually use an exponential fade or an exponential power, one of those things in between to really smoothen it out. And again, it didn't sound that good. Like it sounded like this. But then I was like, okay, well, what can I do to make that perfect? Then I just added a sound effect in between that, because I knew that's gonna be toward the end of the video and I can cover up with something. So I covered it up with this. All right, so now my song is pretty much set. Now I can really go into my shot list. And like I said earlier, you know, I pretty much plan each shot to a precision. But then I also think about, okay, what transitions do I want? Do I want to green screen something? Do I want to do a whip transition? Do I want to do a frame blocking? And I actually used all of those in this commercial, as you previously saw. And those weren't out of coincidence. I wasn't just there shooting. Those are all pretty much pre-planned. Because again, I would hate to be in post-production and be like, oh man, like I wish I did this. No, I'm beyond that point. I used to do that often, and then I found myself trying to piece a puzzle together and it stressed me out. So now everything's planned to a T. So when writing my shot list, I make sure I write it down. Never try memorizing it. I promise you it won't work because you'll always forget. I used to do that. I had a general idea. I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I'm gonna do. And I'll think about it in the car on the ride there, forget half of it on set. So now I usually use my notes on my phone, jot it all down. It looks like this. And then I also have a link to the song. So while I'm on set, I can quickly click on the song, listen to it, get a better idea, put my phone away, and then continue filming. So let's actually go more in depth. So this is what certain shots look like before and after at the shoot. So that's pretty much how I plan my fashion shoots, from pre-production to shoot day to post-production. I know I didn't get into post-production that much, but if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments below. If there's other videos you want to see, more behind the scenes of my other shoots, we'll love to film them. If there's one thing that you should take out of this, pre-production is huge. Make sure you nail those previous points that I said earlier. Again, the more stuff you get done in pre-production helps out your shoot day and your post-production. I really hope I helped you guys out in something. Hope you learned something from this. I'm still kind of getting the hang of this whole YouTube thing. Again, bear with me. Let's grow this channel together. If you want, hit me up on social media, on all social medias, @somedudenameddevs. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.